Hey guys, welcome to today's video. It's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about 10 firearms that are the best concealed carry, but also on a budget. So these are not going to be the top 10, but these are going to be the top 10 on a budget. Of all these, we have about 8 of the 10. The other 2 are highly rated. We'll talk about those and I'll disclose that. And we're going to talk about why we like these, maybe for the economics, maybe for their capabilities, but ultimately this could help you in a situation where you are trying to prep and get good quality firearms to always do what it needs to do. Guys, this video is going to get going. It starts right now.
You ever wonder if days like these last?
So you can tell it's like getting cold, like I'm getting like cracks. I need like chapstick because it is freezing in the south. I'm not used to like the weather in lower 20s or even in the teens. So we're gonna have some really cold weather. I imagine we will lose power very, very soon. So let's jump into the video. Thank you for being here today. If you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and give me your suggestions. So this list is 10 firearms that are based on good concealed carry, based on other surveys. I'm gonna tell you the ones that I like the best, but also the value is no higher than $500. Don't tell me about yours that it's $1,000, because that's not what the point of the video is. I will tell you the one that I like the most that's well over that, but that's not, again, the point of the video. The point of the video is to save money and have a good quality firearm where you can have on you for EDC. Also on this list, we really made it up of 2 calibers because it tended to be the ones that we tend to see in an everyday carry, and also ones that we can pick up ammo pretty reasonable, or it's in a wide array of supply. Mainly at any kind of store you go to, these 2 ammos are there. So again, underpriced and a certain caliber, that's what's going to make up this top 10. So let's jump into number 1. Number 1 is the BERSA Thunder. This is a nice little firearm. We actually have 2 of these. Misty carries this on her. This is her favorite smooth shooting little 380. One thing about the 380s, and if you shoot 380s, you'll know they tend to be smaller, shorter barreled, so they tend to kind of twerk your wrist a little bit, especially if you're doing a lot of practicing or a lot of shooting. So our goal is to say, what is one of the better 380s? Well, we have found it with this little 380, and it is very good priced. Typically you can pick this up for $250 to $325 depending on where you're purchasing. They're a nice little firearm to carry. Also, concealing wise, it can fit just about anywhere you like to carry that's more comfortable to you. If it's a waistband, or if it's a belly band, or if it's on your ankle, this is a very nice little firearm. When we talk about firearms, is magazine capability and also barrel length and how it feels in your hand. Again, a smooth shooting little firearm and can hold up to 15 rounds. This is a good little firearm. Number 2, this is one of the ones that I don't have, but is highly rated and it's a good price. It is a KAHR CM9. Very highly rated because of the dollars. It's a smooth little shooting gun and it is highly rated. It only holds 6 rounds, so for me this would be a no-go. However, its slim ergonomic look will allow it to fit as an EDC for just about anyone, especially for the smaller people or the ones who are carrying very discreetly. Let me know if you have this one, and that way you can tell the ones in the comments if you like it or if you don't. 3 is a company that is highly overlooked, a company that I actually own several versions of firearms from. The brand is TAURUS. Now, the version that I'm going to be talking about is the G2C Compact. It comes in a variety of colors. Here it is right here. This little firearm is a smooth little shooting firearm. I have 3 versions of this exact firearm. Very smooth, very accurate. Honestly, of all the lists, and I'm going to kind of blow your mind here, other than really talking high-end guns, as an economic gun, I'm probably better accurate with this gun than some of the ones that I personally like more, as in shooting capabilities and better brands. This is a good little firearm to have. Magazine capacity is 12. The G2 Tauruses had the G2 Millennium and then kind of stepped up as they got newer. They really have been good little firearms. I've never had a lodge. I've never had an issue with them. And actually, it was an EDC for me for a long time before I upgraded for one of the other ones in this list. Tauruses tend to be picked up for anywhere from $200 to $350. Again, depending on where you're purchasing. I really think that you can find good deals on these guns. They tend to do a lot of promos through a lot of stores because they're a gun that's not highly sought after. However, we're not talking about a so economic gun that it's actually embarrassing to carry. It's a really nice little firearm to have. Number 4 may be a little hard to swallow for some of you. This is one I have personally used, however I do not own one. It is the SCCY CPX2 9mm. Now, if you remember seeing the firearms that are purple, green, blue, red, really strange colors, SCCY is one of those providers that do that. If you like that, cool. Personally, I tend to like just the simple colored firearms. It's a very economic firearm. You usually can pick these up from literally $199 to $300. They look kind of clean and cool. I think that you would, if you're looking to save money and you're looking to have a economic EDC, this is not a bad option for you. Overall, it holds 10 rounds, which is a nice carry. But just, full disclosure, I don't own this one, just like I don't own the KAHR. That's the only 2 on the list that I personally do not have in my possession at all times. However, I have personally shot this one. It's a nice little gun, comparable to things like the FMK or the High Points. I would probably go with the SCCY over those 2 brands, and this is a good economic brand. Not quite to TAURUS for me on economics, but it is a very nice little firearm. Now we're getting to some of my favorites. Number 5 is a Ruger EC9. Now, I personally have the LC9, the older version of some of these firearms. I personally carry this as one of my main EDCs. It has some, holster wear on it, so I tend to put this in if I'm working on the farm. The only thing I don't like about the Ruger LC9 or the EC9 that we're going to be talking about is simply the capacity of rounds in the magazine. It tends to only hold 6, and of course 1 in, so 7 rounds. However, the purpose of that is because it is very, very small and allows you to be very discreet with it. Sometimes if I'm on farm, I'm usually having it on my ankle just because it tends to be easier to hide my boot, not get nasty, not get the wear that it would typically get on my person up here on my waist. So I tend to like it, plus I'm moving around. I don't like it inside waistband. So this is a perfect firearm for that, for very discreet carry. Again, my wife Misty with the BERSA, with this Ruger, both of those tend to fit well with females because they are a smaller firearm, but still packs of punch. 6 to 7 rounds versus the bigger magazines. I like this firearm. I have shot thousands of rounds through it, and never once, cheap or expensive ammo, have I ever had an issue with it. So it is a good quality firearm for the price. Usually $350 to $450, just depending on where you're purchasing. Sometimes you can find them on sale for around $300. A good purchase. An oldie but goodie that's been around. The name, of course, has been around, and this version has been updated. But number 6 would be the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. This is the 9. I like this little firearm because it tends to be one that you see modified already. So if you're buying from the store, you can buy just the actual firearm, or you can buy it with the laser, you can buy it with the red dot, and you're still under $500 traditionally. If you're buying it more stripped down, $300 to $350 is common. If you're buying it with the the laser, or you're buying it with the red dot, you're gonna be a little over that, but still a very nice firearm, especially for somebody that doesn't like to modify theirs when they get it home. They like to buy it stock and has already got that on there. I've never had a lodge in it. Again, shooting steel junkie practice ammo still goes smoothly through it. I've never had an issue there. One thing I've noticed when we were, of course, reloading brass, that's another video for another day, but when we talk about steel casings and cheaper ammo, especially what we have found over the last 2 years, when people want to pick up ammo, they pick up a more economic ammo. Well, the one thing about economic ammo is sometimes it doesn't go well through some kind of firearms, but this one has never had an issue. It's kind of like the Ruger, it's kind of like the TAURUS. I've never had a problem with pushing even economic ammo through these firearms, especially in the 9 millimeter caliber. Capacity is 7 in 1. However, it is a little bit longer barrel on this little M&P, so it has a little bit better accuracy compared to some of the shorter barrel firearms that we've talked about, some of the shorter barrel pistols that we've talked about, but all around a very good one. And when we talk about this number 7, this kind of starts some of the nicer top of the line, looking at $450 to $500 in firearm pricing. The one thing I like about all the ones that we've talked about prior to this is they all have a flip safety on them. I personally like a safety on a firearm. I just do. It just makes me feel safer, makes my family feel safer, and I think it's just a good practice. Now, when we talk about these next few, I carry these. I love these. These are the best accurate firearms for the price. However, some of these do have safety, some of those do not. So think about barrel length, think about magazine capacity, but also think of safety or no safety. If you like the trigger safety or if you like a flip safety, I personally like the flip safety, but full disclosure, it really depends on what you like. There's no one size fit all or one thing that people like more than the others. It just is a personal preference. It's like carrying. If your EDC is on your ankle or on your belly or in your waistband, on your side, on your back, or in your front, usually comes down to personal preference. And all these videos are meant to help advice, but not to tell you what is best for you. So let's jump into this one. This one's gonna excite a lot of you. Number 7 is the Glock 43X. This is a smooth little subcompact, fits ergonomically in your hands. One of my top favorite firearms to have, for sure. It's a good size if you're carrying. Mag capacity for this size gun is 10 rounds. I don't carry this one all the time because of the safety. I like the flip safety. When it comes to a great quality firearm and you want to get into a Glock, a great firearm for a good price, this little 43X is the answer to that. I really like it for the size of it, the accuracy of it, the fact it is a compact but also holds 10 rounds. That is huge, and it fires just about dead on every time. If you're where you can aim, a Glock is a smooth little shooting firearm that you need to look in, and this one, 450, 500, a great one to have for sure. Number 8 is another Glock. When we get to the top of the the 450, 500s, Glock is going to be there, and of course it goes up to more expensive firearms. But a very good number 8 would be a Glock 19. At the Gen 3 9mm, we personally have it. I enjoy it. It's a fine little firearm. Again, ergonomically fits in your hand. That is a big deal to me. I want to make sure I'm smooth, I'm safe, but also that it feels right in my hands. A Glock to me always looks a little bulky. It really does. It has a different kind of slide. When you look at the the SIGs or the Kimbers or even the BERSAs, they have this cool little ergonomic look that kind of looks slim and trim and just looks good. A Glock tends to look bulky and just big. But fine shooting firearm. Never have I ever had anything lodge in these Glocks. Also, if I'm target practicing, more than just about any gun that I target practice with, I'm very accurate with the Glock, and I know most of you would say the same thing. Great gun for EDC, for safety, and just an all-around fun gun to practice with and target shoot. 450 to 500, you're going to be up on the 500 range. Sometimes they can even be more than that. Sometimes you can find them on sale though, and it puts it back under that $500 range. 15 round capability and the capacity, that is the best thing about this. Also has a little size to it, so it feels comfortable in your hands, and you're going to be a lot more accurate with it than even some of the ones we talked about before. All right, number 9 and 10 are, again, very common EDCs for me. I personally like them. I'm going to tell you about them because I own both of these. Full disclosure, one I'm not as accurate with, and that's going to be number 9. Number 10, I enjoy it probably the most in shooting, other than the 2 other Glocks that we talked about. However, it tends to be a little bulky to carry on an ankle holster or a belly band. It tends to be one that you like inside a waistband or just carry, common carry. So let's jump into those right now. Number 9 would be the SIG P365. The barrel is just over 3 inches, so it is very easy to conceal. Also holds 10 rounds. Those are big deals when it comes to a compact or a subcompact or one that you can conceal easy. Now, full disclosure, even though I have ran a lot of rounds through this P365, I've never had it lodge. but I am not as accurate with this SIG as I am the other ones. I don't know if it's just not practice. I don't know if I have a better feel for some of the other ones, even though I like this one. I just tend to not be as accurate with the SIG, but I do love it. It's smooth. It's a fun little shooting firearm. I just get embarrassed because I don't shoot nearly as good with it as some of the other ones. But if you're looking for a great EDC, this would be it. Another great one, especially because it does have a flip safety, so comparable to the Glock. So if you like the Glocks, but you do like a safety and you do like it because it's not so bulky, the SIG is nice. Just, I would challenge you to go practice with it. Make sure you have a good accuracy with it. I don't know if it's just me. I'm not that good with it. So I've got to practice more with this for sure. Again, I like 9mm. I have a lot of 9mm. I think it's wise to have a common caliber that is easy to pick up at any store. I did a video on ammo and ammo shortages and the importance of certain rounds. This is just one, even though I talked about a few 380s. 9mm is just a better EDC for me because I have a lot of ammo and a lot of stockpile, and it just makes sense. They're a great little shooting round too. Now, surprisingly, I picked up this SIG for under $400. It was like $399. Came with the case and all. Looked really nice. Now, typically they're going to be $450 to $500 as well, and even more. But we picked it up on sale at a national brand store for literally under $400. It is well worth that, so pick it up. When you're comparing, name brands, I'm not saying every name brand matters, but when it comes to the Glock, when it comes to the SIGs, when it comes to Kimber, when it comes to this number 10, they do have a reputation because they provide a good quality firearm, and this is another good one. Now, number 10 is also one I really like because of how much the magazine carries, because of its size, and I tend to be a little bit more accurate with it. So let's talk about it right now. The Springfield HELLCAT. I have really fell in love with this little firearm. It fits well. I like the grip on it. It reminds me of a Glock grip. However, it looks a little cleaner and sleeker to me than the Glocks. Depending on what magazine you purchase, you can have 11 rounds or 13 rounds in this firearm, and so that gives it the most capabilities unless you're buying extended magazines for all of these pistols. I personally like this firearm because I have a better accuracy with it. Probably my favorite. It's going to be on the higher end of $450 to $500 as well. I picked up mine again around $425 because it was on sale, so I'm always looking for opportunities to purchase and stockpile on firearms and ammo, but I always look for a good deal. That's part of being a prepper, part of being someone who is trying to be conscientious of their money. If cash is no longer there one day, or if I'm needing to take care of my family, these are good investments. This is the best kind of investment you probably can purchase other than food. So number 10, Springfield HELLCAT, one of my favorites. So probably there's some in this list that you really like, and there's some in this list that you think you would rather throw away. But the purpose is to say, under $500, what are some of the best EDCs? And there's some that are more economic and can help you on the economic side, and there's some that you tend to be more known that you like. The top 4 or 5 for me, of course, was the last ones mentioned. However, they tend to be the more expensive of this list. When you talk about some of the lower end and economic version guns, I do tend to like the TAURUS for economics. If you compare it to some of the higher end versions that we've talked about, of course you're probably gonna like those better when it comes to shooting, accuracy, and the feel. But on economics, TAURUS would be the better brand if you're talking a firearm under $300. On the fact of just a very nice, all well around best firearm to look at, the Glock 43, the Glock 19, the SIG 365, and then the HELLCAT. Top 4 for me, and just good quality EDCs for you to keep your family safe. And give me your thoughts on these. What is your favorite of this list? What is your less favorite of this list? Do you have any of these versions? Again, I don't have the KAHR, I don't have the SCCY. If you have those, let me know and defend those. If you don't, that's okay. I know most people would say these top 10 should be all Glocks. I understand that, but if under $500, these are some great options for tighter budgets. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Our goal is to always be safe, always take care of our family, and always prep and stockpile. This is a great asset to have that you can put up and know that when money goes down, food goes down, and you have to take care of your family, this is a very great asset to have. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and have a Merry Christmas over the next few days. Spend time with your family and enjoy it. Happy homesteading, y'all.